Hello, my name's Heather Murphy and I'm a barrister of 11 years called at 24 Old Buildings in London. I have a broad commercial chancery practice, including aviation, commercial disputes and asset recovery. I'm going to talk to you today about a case called Times Travel and PAAC. I got involved in this case since 2017. And what I have to say today is of use to anyone who works with contracts, particularly in a commercial situation, and particularly those involving agents and principals. So Times Travel is a case largely about airlines. You might say, well, why in that case is there an octopus on this slide? That's because this case has more limbs than an octopus. There are aspects that I could talk about metadata, the difference between metadata of emails as sent and as received, the consequences of being debarred from a final hearing, what that means when an unless order actually bites, and what it means for a party who is debarred, and inferences that the court are prepared to draw from non-disclosure by a particular party. Those are all some of the limbs that this case has involved and thrown up. Today, to keep this under 45 minutes, I'm only going to talk about two of the limbs that this case has had, and that is accounts against principals and the question of economic duress. So to give you some context for why these questions and the other limbs arose, I'm going to look briefly at the history of this case. So this was a case for unpaid commission. It's an agency case. The claimants were travel agents. They sold tickets for the airline defendant. And originally, commission was worked out on a very straightforward basis. It was simply 9% of the ticket price. So if the agent sold a ticket for £100, the airline would reimburse them £9. Incredibly straightforward. Then in 2012, the airline sought to implement a new arrangement called the New Agreement. And that new agreement had a number of limbs again. One, it terminated the existing contractual relationship. Two, it moved commission from that straightforward 9% commission to something called net sale remuneration, NSR. And I'll explain what that is in a second. And third, the third element of the new agreement was that the agents had to give up all of their claims to any commissions pre-2012. So accrued commission that hadn't been paid had to be waived as a condition of an ongoing or new existing relationship with the airline. So what was this new form of commission? Well, instead of, as I said at the top, you sell a ticket for £100 and you get 9% of it back. The idea was that the airline would provide the ticket to the agent at a discounted price. So you would sell your tickets to the public as the airline at the recommended retail price, and you would provide the agents with a discounted ticket from the recommended retail price. So if your recommended retail price is £100, to the public, the agent gets the ticket for £93. Now, many of us will be familiar with the type of arrangement that PAA were trying to put in place by the new agreement. There had been a number of disputes about commission up until 2012, and they might say, well, they were simply trying to draw a line under those disputes, move all of their agents onto a new basis, something they were entitled to do because they were able to terminate the existing relationship. And as a condition of that new relationship, they were able to implement certain terms and make certain changes.